I have to talk a lot on this channel about disappointing video game releases and just gamers not being happy with the product that we're getting at the end of the day, but Elden Ring is the gift that keeps on giving. The base game that released was fantastic and most people ended up loving it, but now we finally have the DLC announcement and gamers are rejoicing. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, when Elden Ring released nearly 2 years ago, people absolutely loved it. It did wonderfully for Bandai Namco and FromSoftware. Of course, people were so excited to see this new universe be created, but it has been a slow and painful journey to get to this DLC because when a product is so good, people don't want to wait for an update. People do not want to wait for a DLC, but FromSoftware has put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this, making something that they felt confident in, and now we finally have the first trailer for Shadow of the Erdtree, and it is causing jaws to drop. This is a Tweaktown article. It says Elden Ring was released 2 long years ago now, very nearly, and the anticipation around the expansion Shadow of the Erdtree has been stoked to fresh, fiery heights with the release of a gameplay reveal trailer, and I definitely think it was not what a lot of people were expecting in a very good way. We all knew that it was going to center around Mikola, Melania, the hardest boss in the game's brother. He was going to have a very big part of it, and a lot of people thought that he was going to end up being kind of the main villain, and while we don't know exactly for sure if he, could go bad in the DLC or what exactly is going to happen, Mesmer is actually the main antagonist, and boy, oh boy, are there layers and layers to this character, but a lot of people have seen this trailer and are so freaking excited for it. I am as well. I've loved Elden Ring. I've played it multiple times. I'm going to play it again. And this DLC, I think, is definitely going to be one of the biggest releases of 2024. Honestly, looking at the slate of games to still release this year, I don't necessarily think that there's anything that could rival the anticipation behind this DLC, and that's very rare for a DLC. It says, though, the video was promised and arrived on time, looking very smart indeed, as you can see above, and this trailer is being absolutely praised. Official gameplay reveal trailer. This is just one of the many uploads. Bandai Namco Entertainment of America's YouTube channel, 578,000 views, 44,000 likes to only 240 dislikes. Most people are very happy with what they have seen so far and honestly want to see more. And of course, we did get some solid information about this. There is going to be a collector's edition. Of course, they are going to be releasing a Shadow of the Erdtree edition of Elden Ring, which is sort of like a Game of the Year edition that also includes the DLC, and then you can of course purchase it as a standalone DLC. And while the DLC on its own is $40, that right there and the response to it just goes to show how confident people are in this product. When it comes to DLC, especially ones priced around $40, like when Phantom Liberty released, people were extremely skeptical, saying, damn, that's a lot of money for a DLC. But with Elden Ring, everyone is saying, damn, that must be massive and worth the money. It just goes to show FromSoftware has earned players' trust. We know they're not adding a cash shop. We know they're not going to give us a half-assed experience. And they took their time to make a hefty addition to the Lands Between, which is just so exciting to see. And of course, Elden Ring, again, massively popular. Over on the Steam page, it's sitting at an overwhelmingly positive overwhelmingly positive is recent reviews with nearly 11,000, but very positive 578,000 reviews, which of course is just insane. And on the tweet that, of course, was made from the official Elden Ring account, it's sitting at nearly 9 million views. It's got 132,000 likes. People are saying things like perfect amount of time to get that muscle memory back. I'm honestly very happy with the amount of time that they've left between the official announcement and the release, just because, yes, it does give people plenty of time to go back through the base game. They don't have to rush through it in order to be done by the time the DLC releases. It's really giving people enough time for the idea of the DLC to kind of marinate, allow people to speculate for a while, and then of course for the DLC to launch. Shadow of the Goat Tree, let's go. The DLC is $40. Holy fuck, it must be huge. That's what I'm saying. We know for $40 FromSoftware is going to be giving us an amazing experience. We know that it's not going to be some half-ass DLC launch where they're just trying to milk us out of a bunch of money. And looking at something like Phantom Liberty, again, I think it's really good to compare these two things. They did a great job with Phantom Liberty, and it definitely changed people's opinions about Cyberpunk, but Elden Ring is already one of the highly anticipated games of this year. This DLC is. It is one of the best games to release in the past decade, and in my opinion, it's in my top 3 games of all time, and I know many other people feel the same way, so the scores for this game are already insanely good, never mind with this DLC. This looks phenomenal. Cannot wait. You guys did an amazing job with the trailer. Cannot wait to play the DLC. There are so many little tidbits of information in this trailer. There's so much lore shoved into it, like the draping over the Erdtree and how, of course, we see that kind of motif several times in the game, but one of the most notable is Queen Renala. We also know that Mesmer, who now is going to be the lead villain, actually, it's speculated, is to be the child of Marika and Radagon. I mean, there is so many layers here, but one thing is for sure is that developers can create amazing products and understand what their audiences want, and at the end of the day, you are going to sell your product. I've talked so much on this channel about developers doing the wrong thing, putting out the wrong content, not listening to their fans, not listening to their paid customers, but in the case of FromSoftware, they have always really been able to nail what their audience wants, except of course for Bloodborne remakes and ports. But regardless, besides that, they've really been great at listening to what people want, and they have, it seems, with this DLC, taken the time and put in the love and the care into it, which is just so good to see that there are still plenty of developers out there who are going to listen. And this is a reason why FromSoftware creates some of not only my favorite games, but is one of my favorite developers, period. I think that they always know exactly what people want. They can gauge their audience in a way that a lot of other companies cannot, and judging by, a pretty weak release schedule this year, and games coming out that are absolute disasters and failures, things like Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, I think that Elden Ring is exactly what gamers want, exactly what gamers need, and this is going to go and show the strength of FromSoftware and how good they are at what they do. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.